Hey guys and girls, so this is the bonus episode of my course. It's about audience building because I don't think I'm super good at it. And here's the guy who is awesome at audience building. He have built quite a few audiences. I'm sure you all know about it. About him, it's the Noah Kagan. He's the founder of AppSumo, Sumo.com, KingSumo, and like pretty much every domain name in the world that has the word sumo in it. So let's not waste time and start with some numbers because I'm sure people want to know like the size of your audience. Like, can you tell us about the email list that you have at AppSumo, at Sumo.com, your own email list at Okdork? What's the size of your YouTube following? What's the size of your podcast? Like, let's start from some numbers.
One thing, hello everybody. Hi Tim, good to see you. Thank you for having me. Just Noah, not the Noah Kagan or anything like that. One thing I just want to highlight, a lot of times when I hear guys that have more money than me, or girls, or people who have bigger houses or nicer cars, I think you always have to know what's going on underneath, and you also have to understand what your own objectives are. Because a lot of people might say, man, if I had a large mailing list, or if I had this much money, or if I had more hair, which I don't, everything will be great. Or, I could give you every email that's on our mailing list, but they probably wouldn't do anything. They probably wouldn't open your email. They probably wouldn't respond to you. So what I really encourage everyone, don't worry about how big the mailing list is. Worry about the quality. So worry about how many people straight up, like here, and I'll give you a good example. How many people straight up, if you said, hey, I need your help, I'm working on this project, can you donate some money or can you contribute? How many people in your audience would give a shit? That's the number that matters more. Because I talked to a guy yesterday who had 30,000 people on his mailing list, which is it's a lot of people. Imagine 30,000 people in a stadium. That's a soccer stadium, or I know you're in Europe, football stadium. That's a lot of people.
I'm in Singapore actually.
Singapore, close enough. But his open rates were 15%, which is shit. That means that no one gives a crap about what he's saying, and we can talk about strategies around that too. The second thing is, like, I did a charity thing just as an example, and I was able to raise $30,000 from very small amounts because, I've spent 15 years giving out free content to people. And so when I finally said, hey, I'm doing charity, do you guys want to contribute? It was easy for me to actually make that effective. So just again, coming back, I just want to say, we'll talk about some of the stats because it is interesting. But what I've gotten as I'm getting older now, Tim, I'm 36, it's less about the vanity numbers and more about the actual, it's like when people talk about revenue, you should ask what profit is. And when people talk about their email list, you should say, what's your revenue per opens, or what's your open rate, or something like that, more than actually just the size of it. So that a little pushback for people when they're thinking, just think about the quality. Work at one by one. I think in marketing, people miss that. People are like, how many people? I'm like, why don't you just go one at a time and get every single person who watches your videos, respond to their comment, or every person who's joined your mailing list, email them. Or like with KingSumo.com, anyone who buys, we personally email. Everyone who sets up a giveaway, we personally message them.
Agree 100%.
The sizes are there. I mean, AppSumo, I think, is like almost 1 million subscribers. Okdork is 100,000 plus. Sumo.com is, I don't know, a few 100,000 people using it. So we've been doing this business almost 10 years, and I've been doing my personal blogging 15 years.
Yeah, so what about your personal numbers? The YouTube channel, I think you have how many, 35,000 subscribers or?
Yeah, there's around 30. You know what's funny? I don't really pay attention to that, Tim, but there's 34,312. I mean, I guess. What's interesting with the YouTube subscribers? Same thing, man. I see these guys. I've seen two guys recently. One has 100,000 subscribers and one has 1 million subscribers. But then sometimes I wonder why, when they put out a video, are only 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 people watching it.
Yeah.
People aren't looking forward to their emails or their videos or their articles, whatever it is. So I think it's really trying to figure out, am I creating food or beverages or content or video or podcast that people are looking forward to consuming?
Yeah, this is actually one of the last questions in the interview about the kind of content that you should put out. But let's not force it there. So there's email list, there's YouTube following, there's also following on medium.com. I started posting some articles there because you can reach an audience. So what do you think, what's the difference? Should people try to be present on different platforms that allow you to have following, or should you focus on just one medium or just email list, which is classic? What are your thoughts on this?
So I've done a bunch and I've experimented. I think there's two things you do. And this is in my experience. I can't tell what works for everyone. Number one, email list. Number one. Number two, find the medium that works for you. So what does that mean? You might be great on audio, so do podcast. You might be great in professional stuff, do LinkedIn. You might find that your Quora is your medium. But I never build my house on someone else's property, ever. Because Facebook changes an algorithm. Like I talked to this guy, he said, oh yeah, Facebook, I get less traffic. I'm like, yeah, of course, it's their traffic. You're getting it for free. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. I don't know if I could swear. Is that okay if I swear?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll keep
It's
using.
okay.
So I'd say experiment with different mediums and then find the medium that you're actually getting people to respond to you. And then that's where you find people, but then you push them to your email list. Why email list? Even with Gmail's changes or all the changes of an inbox, it's still the only medium that I've ever found that I can directly control communicating with a lot of people. Even with LinkedIn, I have 30,000 followers. When I post something, sometimes they see it, sometimes they don't. YouTube video, I have all these followers. Sometimes I get 1,000 views, sometimes I get 10,000. With my email list, I get 20 to 30% opens every single time, guaranteed. And so it's the only medium that if you ever want to make sure that you don't go out of business, I would build up and then use these other channels to have, this is where people find out about you.
Yeah, so you're using your YouTube channel, your podcast, you're following on LinkedIn to reach people, to spread awareness about what you do, about yourself, about your brands, your businesses, and then you at the end you try to funnel them in some email list of yours, like if it's a business email list or personal email list that would be the most relevant to them.
100%. I
Okay.
mean, so figure out the channel that works for you. So, for example, I tried Quora for all of the year, or maybe it was 9 months, and it got me all these views, but I can never get people to leave to follow me anywhere else. And think about this. You're like, wow, you have all these followers. But if I ever say, I want to promote something, can change the rules on me. Same with the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So for me, it's figure out your channel. So for me, the channels that I found work really effectively now, I do LinkedIn because I actually find it helps me get new exposure, and then YouTube because of the size of the audience. So those are the two channels I'm looking to find new people and then push them into eventually so I can communicate them directly with my email list.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. Okay, let's talk about converting people to your email list. So you have sumo.com, which is like a suite of tools for converting people. Yeah, but I see a problem with list building, with all those like hello bars, pop-ups, slide-ins,
Totally.
and whatever. That usually people would use some kind of lead magnet, some kind of PDF or some freebie that would motivate people to sign up for their email list. And then, which is quite obvious, when people get this freebie, they're kind of no longer interested to receive any subsequent emails, and so they just unsubscribe. So, what do you think about this?
I think you're right. And the two things that I'm doing and our company is doing more in 2018 and beyond, number one is we're actually asking for emails less. And I know that sounds backwards. It's still, this point is to still ask for email. A conversion on a website for purchasing is 1% to 2%. And so you have 99% not doing anything. So you have to ask for an email. You have to get that other 10%. And then you could build relationships with them. But I've actually toned down, if you go to Okdork, I'm much less aggressive in how often I do pop-ups or how often I'm doing scrollbox and this and this and this. Because you want to find people who want to hear from you. You got to say, hey, do you want to hear from me? But people, I think 2 years ago was super aggressive on it. So I would actually encourage people to tone it down, number one. People still need to ask for it because it's critical. The second thing I've been doing is how do you create tools or software that people want to give you an email address for? Instead of just like, hey, I'm going to give you a shitty PDF. I think in some companies it's a little dangerous to get in the discount train, which is like, hey, here's a discount, or here's something that. So how can you give them a tool where they're like, oh, cool, I want to use this. I actually want it. And I think people aren't investing enough in it right now. And so it's like, KingSumo is a free thing for us, and people sign up, gives us an email, and then we can actually communicate with them. But it's a free software that helps build an email list.
Okay. The way I found around this issue is that back on my personal blog, I was offering people to sign up for five email free course. So basically, they weren't downloading any PDF, but I was sending them one email every 2 or 3 days, and this got them to a habit of receiving my emails. So yeah, this worked as well. But I'm totally with you on toning down the aggressiveness. That makes a lot of sense because I think a lot of people now even hate it, and they would be vocal on Twitter, on Facebook, on Reddit.
Can I recommend two other things?
Yeah, sure.
I'll recommend two other strategies. So one thing that I do with KingSumo, it's one of our newer products for giveaway software, is anyone who signs up, I say, hey, use KingSumo. The email says, and everyone can try it, they'll find out. It says, why did you sign up, and when are you going to use, how did you hear about KingSumo, number one, and number two, when are you going to run your giveaway? And it's an autoresponder. So a lot of people reply, about 50% reply, and I email every single person back. So that's the thing I would recommend. Instead of saying, I'll give you a shitty PDF, why don't you say, hey, give me your email, and I'll personally reply to you. It'll shit their pants. They're like, no, there's no way Tim's going to do it. And I know you're like, well, that's a lot of work. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of work to build an audience.
I think I know what people will gonna say at this point. Yeah, it's Noah. Everyone wants to get a response from Noah, but I'm just starting out. My blog is new, so it won't work for me.
No, that's actually even more important for you, because I don't really have as much time on Okdork. I don't email people, every single person anymore. But for the first thousands of people, I emailed every single one. Hey, when you join, I'm going to personally, whatever people are specializing in. If I specialize in real estate, if I specialize in sales, if I specialize in account management, and whatever it is, tell them what you're going to do. Like, hey, if you're a designer, hey, I will give you a free logo, or I'll give you a free site review, or I'll give you 4 things to do about your site. Second thing that most people should do, here's another idea. I'm actually doing this one, because if things get saturated, right? It's like when it's a good deal, or when there's a shorter line in the supermarket, everyone fills that line up. We all know that. Mm-hmm. So one thing, I literally thought of it today. It'll probably help me grow my email list, but a few years ago, I started doing summerofmarketing.com and email1k.com and traffic1m. So it was actually like a legit course. I put a lot of time and money into it, and it really helped grow my email list. One thing I'm going to start doing is a training programs. So actually live training programs. It wasn't really thought to be an opt-in. I just thought it'd be a good way to meet cool people. So whatever vertically, let's take SEO, you could say, I'm training junior SEO marketers. So juniorSEOmarketingtraining.com. And they opt in, and then maybe for the first program, you do live video training, like live classes, and you record that, and that actually becomes a training of people. So I don't know, I'm thinking of training as a potential new way of an opt-in.
Okay, I'll see you do it first and then think about it too. But actually, I have to give you credit, because this course that I'm building right now, it was inspired by your courses, the Email 1K, the Summer of Marketing, the Traffic 1M, I believe. And I think that there's also a talk on Vimeo. I'm going to put all the links that we mentioned in the description of the video, below the video. There's also a video from MicroConf, where I think the name is David Kadavi, talks about this.
It's David's idea.
Talks about this strategy. He talks about the strategy, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll leave a link below so that everyone could benefit from it. And you mentioned.
Sorry, I want to add. David is designforhackers.com. He is the original one who I copied.
Yeah, everyone is copying each other.
Well, I think the point is, everything is a copy. You just have to iterate it. So David did it, and then I added more viral components. So if you go share it, I had bonus things like a Facebook group, but you have to share to get in the group.
Yeah, I'm doing it all video, for example. So everything changes. You mentioned giveaways. So let's talk about giveaways, and I think that with converting people to your email list with giveaways, the problem that they sign up for freebie only gets even bigger. So again, what are your thoughts about this? And since you have KingSumo.com, which is a giveaway platform, how do you make sure that people get results, and how do you make sure that people stay and pay you for your software?
Yeah, so giveaways, no one should ever do a giveaway more than once a quarter, in my opinion. And I think giveaways suck for the most part, because people are like, what are you giving away for free? Cool, I want that, fuck you, right? How many times have you been to an event?
Yeah.
You ever been to a conference and they give out free food or something, and you don't even know who's sponsoring it or who's doing it? So what I suggest is that you give away a good product. It doesn't have to be expensive. That's targeted to your audience. So for example, let's take Ahrefs. I would give away a book around marketing, a physical book. Maybe it's all of Seth Godin's books, because your audience is targeted. A random person wouldn't really be that interested in it. And I wouldn't do it too regularly. I don't think it's as effective if you do that all the time, because only, giveaways is one form of marketing that you have to do. There's ads, there's content, there's press, all these different things, SEO. Giveaways is just one slice of the pie. And so do it once a quarter. The other thing is I make sure people opt in, And then I try to email them really quickly afterwards to be like, hey, here's what we're about. If you're not interested, let us know, or like unsubscribe. Because you want to get them to actually be engaged with what your business is as quickly as possible. One other thing that I like to do is that we remove anyone from our email list that doesn't click or open in 3 months. So we we get rid of people very quickly. It saves your email service provider bill. It probably cuts it down by a half, but as well, it helps your open rates and your deliverability, and really it makes it more effective when you send. So remove people who aren't sending, and that's good for people who join giveaways and people who don't. What I found data-wise is that from a giveaway, around 40 to 50% of people who join your giveaway that confirm their email will actually end up being a good customer. That's what we found for AppSumo when we were running a lot of giveaways with us.
One other thing that I just thought about is that you shouldn't run your giveaway to like everyone in your audience, but you can actually have segments. For example, here at Hrefs, I thought that we have some customers, some super loyal people who were with us like for 5 years. So we could launch a giveaway exclusively to them. Like, hey guys, you're like our long-term customers. This is why for you we're giving this opportunity to get all of Test Godin books. Like share this link with your friends or something like this. So yeah, I thought that it doesn't have to be your full audience, but you can segment it by different like criteria and then launch different giveaways to these people. So do you think it makes sense?
I love that. I mean, two other things I would recommend is one, I like giveaways where everyone wins. I like a giveaway where, if it's an Ahrefs giveaway, it's like, hey, we're giving away these books, and everyone who enters it, even if they don't win, it's like, maybe it's the course for free, maybe it's like a training for free, maybe it's a discount if people are comfortable with that, but something where everyone who joins gets a benefit out of it. The other thing that we're working towards is that, and this is, I think, a recommendation, what is the point of a giveaway? Like, the point of the giveaway is not for me to just give away something for free because I'm a nice guy. I think I'm mostly nice. But I do a giveaway because I'm hoping people will join the giveaway and then tell their friends to join because they get a better chance of winning. So the whole point of a giveaway is to get new customers. And so what we're moving towards with KingSumo is how do we use the same mechanisms of customer referral to help people grow their businesses? Because you guys have all these customers at Ahrefs, and everyone listening or watching has customers, and they have an email list, hopefully. They have a few, even if it's small. But those people have your other customers for you. So how do we create more tools that help people encourage that? And even if people don't use KingSumo, think about that. Like, you already have all these customers. Just work with them. Don't try to always just go outside and figure out new ideas.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, we're getting to from converting people into your email list or whatever medium you're using to kind of keeping them engaged, building that loyalty and trust so that people would actually open your emails. This is what you've mentioned. You may have like 100,000 emails on your email list, but when you send them an email, it would be like 5% open rate. So like, what do you do from day one? So from day one, when a person has signed up to your email list, how do you make sure that this person will stay with you?
All right, a few things. I'll just give you tactics. I'll just give people things they should do.
Yeah.
Number one, make your post-subscribe page really cool. So after I give you my email and you redirect me to that post-subscribe page, make it something that's a benefit for me. Like, hey, you're already here, join my YouTube channel. Hey, you're already here, go read this best article. So that's one thing most people don't do. Number two, make a welcome message that's either engaging so that they want to reply to it, or something that's very simple. Like, hey, here's with what I do, my goal is to get people to watch me on YouTube. So my welcome email is, go subscribe to me on YouTube. Here are the 3 best videos I've ever done. I love you. Welcome to coming to Okdork. So that's what I do. So I'd either say engage them or show them your best thing right away because they're most interested the moment they join. The second thing you have to do is you have to have an autoresponder. And what does an autoresponder mean? It means that it works in every email provider. So in your autoresponder, what I do is I take my best content or my best things and I have it automatically send. So with Okdork, when someone joins my mailing list, and this is true for all of our companies, different emails for each company, but when you join Okdork, my first email is YouTube. My second one is to follow my podcast. My third one, I don't remember right now. My fourth one is like, go check me out on LinkedIn. So it's automatic every 3 days. And the sooner you do it, the better, because basically what happens with email open rates is first day is the highest, 50%, second day is 40%, then 30%, and then it flatlines 30 to 20. So what you want to do is in the first probably 7 days, 7 to 10 days, have 3 emails, or you can figure it out. Just, do as much as you feel comfortable with. That is like showing your best stuff. think about it as like if you come to a restaurant, would you give them your shittiest dishes or you give them your best? And the best thing about an autoresponder is that like when they come, every time they come, they get the same best dish. So that's the beginning. You have to do that. Now, once you guys got that unlocked, and if people are like, no, I don't know what to put for my autoresponder, here's the easiest way of figuring that out. Look through every email you've ever sent, pick the 3 highest open rates you've ever had, and then make those your autoresponder. Easy. And it works for every type of business. E-commerce, content business, agency business, SaaS business, they all should have autoresponders. What people need to do, and so the second things that I would say, number one, your emails should be something you're excited to send. A lot of people send emails, they're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to send emails, and they send it, and I'm like, are you excited about that? Because, every time you send me an email and I don't really like it, there's a higher chance I'm going to not ever open it again, or I'll mark it as spam, or I'll unsubscribe. So with a lot of our emails, like AppSumo emails, like an AppSumo email probably takes 2 to 3 days to write. One email. And our business makes 90% of our revenue through email, so it's very important. But for other businesses, spend more time writing it. And the second thing that's key is that you need to have a consistent cadence. A lot of people forget this. They send an email because it's like, oh yeah, it's Thursday, and I haven't sent one in a while, let me send one. But it's like your favorite TV show. You want customers looking forward to you. So you want, for me, the way I do it, and everyone has to figure out what they think is reasonable. For me, I think it's reasonable to send to our customers every other week. So for KingSumo, for instance, every other week, all we send is just what we're working on. Because I think, if I'm a customer, I just want to know what the hell's going on. Like, hey, what the hell have you guys been doing for 2 weeks? And they feel a part of a community, they feel a part of the process, and they can respond like, oh, that's cool, or no, that sucks. Versus, 6 months later or a month later, hey, here's a new feature and here's shit that's been going on, or random ass email, go buy something, or here's a special. So I would say pick a time frame and then just put that on repeat. So my personal, same thing, every 2 weeks. Sumo.com, our email marketing software, that's every week. They send an email every Monday, specifically content to help small businesses and e-commerce grow. So, and AppSumo is 2 to 3 times.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sorry.
I like that you mentioned KingSumo, AppSumo, because we're kind of running out of time, and I have my last question. Like, what's the difference between building an audience for like your personal brand, because you have it on Okdork, you have your personal email list, and what's the difference between building an audience around the business? Like, what are the tips there? Anything people should know?
I think people like buying from people. That's one thing, when we talk to people, and I don't ever really try to build a brand. I just like sharing things. I think when people try to build their brand so hard, I think is when they don't do so well. I think what it is like build your tools, build your software, and go help people with it. I think the thing to remember is put a human voice behind it. Whether you're trying to build your personal brand, which actually a lot of people that use Sumo products have heard of me, right? So there is benefit. But even the Sumo products and Sumo group, our family of products, all of them use human talk. And I think with every business, like when you send an email, it's always like, cheers, Ahrefs. But instead it should be Tim and the Ahrefs crew or whatever kind of, I think just putting more human. And how people can think about it is that when you're writing emails or content or anything, think about it as after you're sending an email to a friend. You're not writing an email or you're not writing a blog post for just random people. So you'd use the word you instead of they. Like you're talking to a friend. And I think that's overall not about personal brand, but just being human in your marketing.
So basically, in the general scheme, building an audience around your business and around your personal brand is pretty much the same. They intersect a lot.
Yeah, I think they should blend. It's an interesting thing, right? But we only have so much time in the day. And I'm very fortunate. I work with great people that run the businesses. So I have time to kind of do podcasts or YouTube and things that I'm interested in. And then it lets me, because of that, I can then mention the businesses that we work on. I think if we were a lot smaller, I probably wouldn't spend any time on Okdork or that stuff, except like, maybe 10% of my time or just as a hobby.
Okay, thanks a lot. This was amazing, a lot of great tips. Thanks a lot for agreeing to do this interview and sharing so much knowledge with people.
Yeah, thanks for Tim. You're the man. Whatever Tim asks, I do.